Once upon a time, two boys grew up playing hockey in the village of Terrace, British Columbia. One of them went on to play in the National Hockey League. The other became a comedian. Now, one flies planes and coaches youth hockey. The other is still a comedian and owns newsstands. This is their podcast, Enjoying Orange Slices with Jeff and Ian.
The recording has begun. We haven't done it in a couple of weeks, although you guys have been doing things, leaving me on the outskirts, but we are back to Enjoying Orange Slices with Jeff and Ian, and sometimes Millard. Hey, guys.
We were willing to record last week, and you said no.
I didn't say no.
Yeah.
We have to every so often. Brian Almy needs to go on a vacation. And
that's what happened. Sharples and I were ready.
Yeah.
I know you guys were very chomping at the bit, and I said, guys, none this week. And you guys said back, none this week? Well, then we'll do our own show on Vegas hockey.
Script Sports.
Yeah.
You guys
Channel 34.
You guys, by the way, welcome to the show. It's Enjoying Orange Slices. We're having a great time. It's the best time in the world because NHL season has begun. That means everybody has a chance to go to the playoffs right now, right today, and then it'll all change within 2 weeks. But you guys did the final Vegas game for the preseason on Saturday.
Yeah, Sharples was the pregame, intermission, and postgame analyst on the desk with
Millard. Thank you for looking at us finally.
Me. I'm multitasking.
It was awesome. It was like somebody's not into this show.
No, I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm just while you're doing the intro, I'm getting stuff done. Sharples and I did television the other day.
Oh, so you guys don't believe in the internet because you did television.
And Sharples was introduced to our green room where we all get to hang out. I only get to do it on weekends because I have radio during the week. And it is just a chirp fest in there. And he was a little bit blown away by all of the perceived animosity. And then we leave and we're all friends again. But it is a chirp fest in the green room.
There was, you say fest like it's plural. This is one individual, and he's on this show, and it's not me and it's not Lord Bagg, who just was going crazy. And I happened to be the brunt of all his aggression other night before the game. And I said to him, you get one free. But we had some fun. The voice was down there, Dave Gosher, voice of the Golden Knights. We had Nate, Gary Lawless, we had in there, Darren Elliott, Taylor, the producer, Garrett. We had India, we had Ashley, and they were all very kind to me. But one person who's on this show that's not you or me was a little bit aggressive towards me, but I let it go because he was excited.
Welcome to the Feelings Hurt episode.
Yeah, I didn't know that we needed hugs.
Hey, I didn't even get a chance to say hi, and he just right on me.
Yeah.
Oh, what kind of tie is that? What, you gonna wear that tie?
What I couldn't figure out is the guy flies airplanes, and he couldn't get into the arena and get to our green room on his own.
When they fly airplanes,
it took multiple texts to guide him in.
Right. When they fly airplanes, they go from guy giving directions, female giving directions, to another person giving directions, to another person giving directions, to somebody on the ground telling them where to park. So don't ever think that a pilot is in charge.
I just got taken down hard. Okay, so
it is the Feelings Hurt episode. I love it.
That was pretty good, though. I will give you that. How about just leaving my name at the media entrance so I could actually get in, because I felt like we had an episode of Keystone Cops going on. They're like, what's your name? I said, Jeff Sharples. Huh. I said, did you try Nate or Eric? No. But thank goodness India, she saved the day. So big fan of hers. And Millard, do you think he'd get up from the green room and walk around and help me out? No.
I did. I went out the door, looked up and down the hall, and then I don't see him. I went back in because I didn't want to miss the fun that was happening in the green room.
Really funny.
That's right.
I went in the hall and looked up and down.
Yeah,
nope, not here.
Nope.
He went and looked in the media room where they're serving food, and he decided he was full, so he headed back to sit down in the green room, and then waited to unload.
What
Hurricane Millard.
I watched a couple minutes of it. I didn't have time because I was busy working, but I watched a couple minutes of it. And you
What
guys
were
were
you doing?
seeming. I was in Phoenix at 106 degrees doing
Oh, doing a
comedy.
show?
Yeah, I was doing shows.
Nice.
But you guys are really good together, and I would never know that you guys hated each other.
I know.
No,
That's how much of a professional I am.
that's right. I can overcome
Both of you.
anything. And so how I overcame this episode with him was I went to Hawaii, the most tranquil place on earth, for 24 hours, and I got some rest and relaxation, and I prepared to come on the air with Mallard on Saturday. And so that's how it all happened. And it was, you know what? It's 5 hours of my life I'll never get back, but I enjoyed it
We did
It's
have
immensely.
another
fun.
Sharpleisms. It's another Sharpleisms. I can overcome anything. Jeff
Yeah.
Sharples.
Yeah.
He found a
So,
way. Perseverance.
well, and we'll say this.
We're going to
It
get you
what
back on too. You're going to become a pseudo regular because you've got a day job. You can't become a regular, but we're going to get you on a few more times because I enjoy talking hockey with you.
There's
Well,
gonna
we
be
did have a
there's gonna
good
be it's
time.
gonna take them 6 or 7 episodes before it figures out which door,
Yep.
and then it'll take them another episode to figure out which building you guys are in.
Mhm.
Oh, we're on the road.
And then it'll be one of the days that I'm doing radio, so I won't be in there. So he'll be all confused about that, and he'll have to get up to the set on his own.
Oh, that's exciting.
Oh man,
You should have
it's
saw him
amazing, eh? Just
putting
remember,
his.
hey, you two big
They
time
call
in
it.
me.
They
Just
call it an
I
remember.
love big time on
IFB,
you.
but we wear
Huh?
double earbuds because it's so loud in that rink. You should have saw Sharples trying to get his earbuds in.
Yeah.
Really?
That was
Oh my
awesome.
goodness.
It
It
was
Surprised
awesome.
was. I should have
Surprised he didn't
recorded
bring his
it.
cannons from his airplane.
Well, you know what? I retired those, but I actually I should get I'll go grab them and maybe I'll put them on so I don't have to hear you guys chirp me.
It was an event, and he had the audio assistant helping him out, and he had one in one ear, and then that was in the wrong ear, and then he could.
No
Then he
way.
was sitting on the wire, and he was trying to get the earbud to his ear, but there wasn't enough slack, and he kept pulling on it, and couldn't figure out why it couldn't go to his ear. It was, and I don't think he even realized I was watching him during this time until
He has
right
no
now.
idea.
But it was
My
it was
twin
it
has
was
no idea what he's doing.
it was fun.
Yeah. Well, I know you two are the two audio video experts of the cast here, so I'll defer to you on that.
Don't even try with that because who's 10 minutes late because they couldn't figure out what an email is or a text message is. Come on.
Well,
I
yeah,
usually
but
get
he
my
always
Zoom invites
defers.
to my iMessage, and I was just
I
sitting
live
there
on a
going,
different
"Wow,
plane.
what are you guys doing?"
Yeah, no, it was all Mallard had his man. I don't the other guy scored, but Mallard had his guy. He had his man. So
Guaranteed.
anyways, hang on a second. So let's get back. The game for a preseason game had just about everything in it. It was one of the most exciting preseason games you could probably get, which in the end wasn't great for the VGK because
That's your
San
influence.
Jose made a triumphant comeback, but you didn't we didn't have to work real hard to find some exciting parts of the game. It ended up 6-5, and I took away from it that San Jose, even though it's preseason, looks like they have some spring in their step and they have some new energy in the organization, which is great. And VGK looked really good at times, and then I think towards the end, they were just started to look towards Colorado on Wednesday night. So it was a fun game though. And you know what the crazy thing about being at T-Mobile for a preseason game is you would never think that was preseason. You would have thought it was regular season, right?
Yeah.
Mallard? It's
No,
crazy in there.
It was hopping.
Yeah, it was.
Did you guys get to see both their number one draft picks from 2023 and 2022 or no?
Nope.
No.
No, one was hurt and one didn't play.
Which one was hurt?
Celebrini was hurt, but he's back practicing now.
How did he? I didn't. Why do I not know this? Probably because I just don't pay attention to San Jose. But
It wasn't anything big. It was just he left in the game.
How did he hurt himself? Any like did he get hit or what did he do?
No, I think he just felt some discomfort. I don't think he got hit.
So young to feel discomfort. So young to feel discomfort.
Listen, like the kids have to be just exhausted right now.
Right.
The kids that would go, I'll compare it to, some of them went through the Hockey Canada summer camp or USA Hockey's summer evaluation camp. Then they go into their junior training camps. Then they went to the NHL rookie camps and followed that up with main camp and the American Hockey League camps, if they were assigned there or back to their junior teams, that's a heck of a September, August, September for these kids.
Yeah, but don't you think that's why a lot of these kids are able to burst onto the scene because they've been going for so long? They're, wouldn't say regular season form or mid-season form, but then that's why, when you get around the holidays into the new year, you see a dip from
hit
some
a
of
wall.
because they didn't start September 17th. They started in July or early August. And then the other thing is just getting ready for the rigors of the NHL schedule and playing against men every night. These guys are all amazing athletes, but the guys they're playing against are amazing athletes. And a lot of them, have been around for a while. They know the rules of the road. And so, but you can see why, right? They burst onto the scene. It's really hard to sustain that, especially if you're not sure, you're just processing, getting into the league and processing everything that becomes what is involved with being a pro hockey player.
And there's no fault of anybody's along the way. Like every team wants their training camp. You want to look at your junior team. Hockey Canada wants to look at their kids against their peers. The rookies, they want to see them up against other teams' top prospects and the way you go. And so there's no fault of anybody. They're just at that stage of their career.
Well, do you think it's time to actually for a rule to come in, or like kind of a Stamkos rule where you do hold a player out for a couple games just to make sure that he's
Yeah, I think it should be.
You don't think so? You think he should play every
Anaheim
game?
did it last year. They did a load management with Leo. So I think on a case by case basis, it's fine. But I think it should be up to the kid. Bedard wasn't going to be held out for any type of load management.
He held himself out for 2 months.
Yeah, well, and you're talking about Leo Carlsson in Anaheim, right? So people might not know who that is, but they will because he's a fabulous young player. But you got to be careful. We don't want to turn this into the NBA where we're holding people out.
Why not?
Why not? Because people are paying to watch these guys play.
But you got 84 games. You got 84 games.
Well,
why not?
Hang on. Okay, because, and I hear where you're coming from. What I think our problem is we're talking expansion and more games. Is the cup was handed out June 25th. I had video. A friend of mine, his son was down skating with the Kings and guys like Doughty, Edmondson. I follows in Winnipeg now, but all these guys were skating and basically running a practice July 23rd. So it's a year-round event now, right?
On their own, not with the teams.
Yeah, but the coaches can run non-sanctioned practices, right? So I just think, we always say, well, we got to give the kids a break. Well, an adult's no different, right? And so we've kind of run ourselves into the way with the NHL now, and introducing this year will be the Four Nations Cup. How do you like that, Millard? I remembered it this time. And then next year's the Olympics. So we're going to go later and later and
more
and more. And so, I hear what you're saying, but if I am going down to the crypto.com center in LA, or I'm going down to T-Mobile, and let's just say Edmonton's coming into town and they hold out Connor McDavid on Friday night and hold out Leon Draisaitl on Saturday night, and Friday night in Vegas or Saturday night in LA. Those guys are the people that people are paying their hard-earned money to go watch. So the league has it's incumbent upon them and these teams to put the best product they can on the ice every night. So you just said it, 84 games. What are we at this year? 82. So if we keep adding games, you're going to start seeing them go to more of an NBA model, which I
think everything is the NBA model. Like, you don't have it. Like, even when you fly, they pull planes out and check them over, give them rest and every so often, because they want to make money on it, because you make more money off of something being healthy and working. And even if it's a machine, there's times where, at the mill, they have to shut this down for a little bit. You got to shut it down a little bit. You got to retool it. You got to, like, you shut it down for a week. Even like gasoline, we prices of gas go up because, they've shut down this, I can't remember what it does, but it flares up, right? Makes gas, right? But
refinery?
Shut
Fire.
refinery. Thank you so much. But you shut things down for a little bit. And I think we have to realize, we want to see Connor McDavid. We want to see all these guys, but you also does shutting them down for 1 or 2 games help you see them longer in years?
I'll tell you why you won't see the NBA model in hockey is because the regular season is more meaningful to the National Hockey League than it is the NBA. And it has nothing to do with wanting to see a player when he's on the road and giving the fans that great look as the player flies through that town once per year. It's more that they need to be able to win every game and get every point possible.
Do you give them more of a roster, like a larger roster? Give them 2 more players. You can't play them every night, but you got
where you do it. You give them practices off. You have off days. And that's where, and we're seeing it with goaltenders a lot more, and we're seeing it with players where they will take maintenance days from practice over maintenance days from games.
Okay. And one other thing is when
except in Vancouver, where they just run a kid into the ground and ruin them.
Well, but here's the thing: you're trying to compare people to machines. Like, they have their time off in the summer, right? It's how they adjust to it. So that's their downtime. Their time that they need to be running is from October 8th or 9th right through and then they shut down for the summer. But the NHL, you're right, the 2 points means so much because if you just look at what did Vegas was 1 point behind LA last year, right? Millard. So they end up getting Dallas and LA gets Edmonton. It doesn't matter in the end.
I stopped listening when you said you're right. Just for the record.
Yeah, I know. Wow, that's the last time you're ever going to hear it. But so you have 2 teams fighting for a spot now. You want Dallas? Do you want Edmonton? Who do you think you match up better against? But their points are so crucial. And one of the things that saved Vegas last year is they got off to such a hot start, not so great in the middle. Those points all mattered in the end, and so you want to have your best lineup every night. The time for tinkering is an exhibition, or, maybe you want to talk about what you want to do in the summer. But tonight, it's, the league's already started, but it's go time in North America starting this afternoon in Seattle.
From what people can take away from this, I'm pro NHLPA and you guys are pro owner. I'm a man of the people.
Hey, I'm all for less work. I'm totally for the easy way. I search for the easy way every single moment of my life. But in this case,
otherwise known as a
goalie. Why do you get on bicycles then? It's not very easy.
Because he was a Queen fan. He was a Queen fan as a child. I want to ride my bicycle. I want to ride my bike.
But the way that here's the thing, there's way more days off than we ever had. Good for the player.
Mandatory days off, yeah.
And then the other part of it is too, Lord Bagg, is these guys are making way more. So if I'm the harder I work, the luckier I get. If you're gonna work me harder, pay me more, right? So we have the salary cap rising. I love the fact that these guys have a planned days off. Was it 4 a month, right? And everyone's like, well, what are you talking about, 4 a month? We would be lucky if we'd play 3 and 3 on the weekend and then
walk
Monday
uphill
morning
to school and uphill home.
Yeah.
And pack our own equipment.
And we used to have to walk on the power lines to and from because the snow was so high.
Right.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Jeff Sharple's grandfather. I love it. Well, I kind of the reason we're talking about this is we're all sitting around one night watching an early preseason game, and all of a sudden the phone just kind of lights up. Doughty, that was gross. Doughty's gone for a while. We all agreed just seeing him go down on an innocent play. On an innocent play, but that just happens in hockey every so often, something like that, right? Like it doesn't matter.
The flukiest play. I've never seen a skate like latch on, dig into the bottom dashboard like that. Like it was the most
Yeah.
one of in a trillion.
It was
plays.
gross. It was
Spooky.
gross.
So that's a question for you guys then. Like how many exhibitions games you play? Because back in the day, we used to be 9, 10, 11. Now, what are most teams doing? 5 or 6, maybe
No,
7?
some teams are double digits.
Really?
And some teams were 5 on
Do
the
you
very,
think-
very low end.
What about this idea?
Some teams can make money off preseason games, so they want 4, 5 home preseason games. Other clubs can't, so they spend a lot of time on the road doing their preseason games. If that's the business side, the hockey side, which I think we're all more focused on, if a team plays 6 preseason games, it's enough. With the advent of the rookie camps and the rookie tournaments, where you can get a look at a lot of your top prospects, then you filter in maybe a third of that group into some preseason games and give your veterans 2 to 3 exhibition games. I think you can do it with 6. But I think you need 6.
At least 6.
Minimum of 6
Yeah.
to see your young guys and get your
To see
older
everybody.
guys going. And some guys like was it Alec Martinez was saying, "Hey, I can't just do 2 games and get ready for the season." He said he had to play more games, 4 or 5 or whatever. He'd like to be in the lineup more so he could get going. I just think now that these guys, they really don't take much time off and they're all in such great shape. I don't know if it really makes that much of a difference anymore. Obviously, playing against someone like Nathan McKinnon, Rantanen in an exhibition game is a lot more beneficial maybe than playing against somebody that's going to be sent down in the American League, just because those guys are, going to go at high pace against you and kind of you can see where you are a little bit more clearly.
But not every team's equal. Like you might have a team that's got a new coach. There's 8 new coaches standing behind benches to start this year.
Mhm.
They've got to put their system in. They want to add those layers in, and that's much different than a team that's working on the coach that's back for the 5th year. A rebuilding team, putting a lot of youth in. You got to add in a lot of structure there, compared to a team that's ready to challenge for a Stanley Cup and has a couple of new additions. There's a lot of differences between teams, and that's why I think 6 sort of is the sweet spot.
I'm curious if it, for the younger guys, being around the older guys takes a little bit longer, and if you had maybe a couple more games where they stayed in, you might get more out of them. I mean, just for fitting in. Like I know it's a business, and I know, but it's I just think mental health wise, and I'm not saying it's mental health. I'm just saying everybody trying to fit in. There's a couple
Like
more
a
games.
mentorship side of it.
Not a mentorship side, just like how Jeff talked about walking into the green room and
Yes.
and you attacked him. And Jeff was very hurt. You could tell he was wearing his heart on his shoulder.
Mhm.
It's going to take him a couple games before he can walk into that green room again and feel confident.
Yeah.
Right. So this is the same thing that's going. And I'm sorry, Jeff, that I'm using you as this, but this is the same
But
thing
I think
that's
it's a good
happening,
analogy.
right?
Well, yeah, you had the guy that thought he was the veteran trying to pick on the new guy, right? And
Right.
and a lot of times some veterans are just disinterested. They really don't want to, they don't really care about the new guys because everyone's got to cut their teeth. But an organization that goes out of their way, which didn't happen on Saturday night with some people in the green room, but did with others, goes out of their way to embrace everybody that comes into that green room, per se, or let's just use dressing room. Those are the organizations I think that you see over a longer period of time that are successful, because you want people to feel comfortable. You want them to feel like they're a part of it, whether they're with your team, the American League team, or the ECHL team. You want them to be proud of the organization they're part of. And the veteran guys have a big say on that. And matter of fact, they have a massive say in it. Coaching staff can help as well. General manager to a certain degree, and the president of the hockey club or the owner, if they come down and just say hi. But mostly it's the people, your peers, that are going to make the difference. So I don't know. I mean, if you looked around the teams that won it in the last 5 years, I think they would all say they all got along really well. And most of the people in the organization would probably feel Like they're a massive part of it, and that's huge. So we'll see. Well, hopefully we can report back some positive news from the next green room episode.
That'd be awesome if Gary Lawless came off the top rope and nailed you in the forehead with a forearm.
Gary doesn't come to the green room.
He does come to the green room?
No,
Why not? He is the green room.
he doesn't know the combo.
No,
Doesn't
not
have the
good at
secret
numbers.
knock.
he doesn't. Hello, are you guys doing TV in there?
And by the way,
Are you guys doing TV in there?
when I was
Hello?
having fun with Sharples, it was a compliment. He fits in with the
You
group.
don't have to start getting
And he
upset
knows
now.
all the guys. So
God knows.
it was with love there. And I never once made fun of his tie. I wasn't
No.
that person.
I
What'd you
did
make
have
fun
a
of him
great
about?
tie on, though. I will say that I'd never worn that tie before. It's been hiding, brought it out for a special night, and yeah.
Well-
So I was
I tried
was
to
very
tighten his
happy
tie
with my
for him and he
tie,
got all
although
mad at me though.
You
I
did
tried to
attack
tighten his-
I had, yeah. You got a little bit. You got a little
Touchy.
on your front foot there on me a little bit, but my tie was pretty solid. I will say
Well,
that.
was it tight or was it off to the side and a little
It was
bit
just
loose?
it was just a little
Berkey?
loose, and I was trying to move it over to the side, and I don't like it when people do that to me, so I understand why he was.
No,
Like,
the
get away
great
from
part
me.
about him moving my ties, he moved it even further off to the side. So I like to get, the guys that get those ties. Shane does a great job. Shane 90 does a great job. When Shane has a tie, that thing's right up in there, and it looks just, he's on point. So he's trying to, join the show. I wanted to have the tie look proper.
Was it
So
was it a
Millard
big
helped me move it off to the side.
was it a big Don Cherry tie or was it
No. Shane wears those. I don't wear those. So
Mallard, do you wear a tie or do you go Brian Burke on it?
Do you not watch?
I don't.
well,
I
he
don't
said he
look at
watched
you.
the other night.
I just listened to it. I'm like you with this podcast. I look down the whole time.
I'm doodling.
That's
Hey,
funny.
let's
I was
talk about
wondering
that.
what you were drawing. Oh, I was so right. That's awesome.
I'm doodling a little goalie there.
I like hockey. I like hockey. I
usually
like
start with the face,
hockey.
and then I end up with the body, and by the end of the
that's so
podcast, I've
great.
got a little skit going.
That's
You
so
know,
funny that I
sketch.
knew you were drawing.
Hey, you know what? You should see the amount of paper that Millard brings to the set. It's very impressive. Republic sponsored the pregame and the postgame now because he just recycles the whole thing of paper and
That's
throws.
funny.
You got enough to fill one of those blue bins up after a show.
Yeah,
Very
I prepare.
impressive.
I prepare.
Yeah, you
So
do. You're very prepared. Yep.
Let's talk. What do you think the most important thing to see this season is? What team's going to be the biggest disappointment? What team's going to be the biggest surprise? Let's go. That's 3 questions.
I'm
Write it
going to
down.
go with the biggest. What we need to see the most out of is a great year out of Utah, and I think we will. They're going to be right there on. They have the potential to be like the Golden Knights were year one, except way more expectation because there was really no expectation with the Golden Knights because people didn't know how that team would react. This team moving.
This team is not an
is-
expansion team, by the way. Like,
Yeah,
they've
well,
been
that's what
around.
well, would you let me finish? I'm getting there.
Sorry.
I'm getting there. And so,
Grandpa.
yeah, I know. That's what it was like the other night. Just aggressive, like that. But yeah, I think Utah's the most important story. I would love to see Columbus get it going as well. But I think after playing in front of 4,000 fans for the last couple of years, I think going up to Salt Lake, it's really important that Utah, and I think they will, has a great year.
They'll do just fine in Utah. I'm not worried about them in Utah. I did like that people were complaining. There's 2,000 obstructed seats in the new building. I'm like,
Mhm.
the last building had 2,000 seats. So calm down, everybody.
Yeah.
And by the way, I was in Tempe this weekend. It was worse than I thought it was there. I was talking to a guy, a hockey fan there, and they were giving tickets to the college kids for that place. So they couldn't even fill 5,000.
They did paper the house. They were fine when there was
unbelievable.
good following, like northern teams and fans would do the tour. They did well there, but they did paper.
When San
some of
Jose
that.
was coming to town, yeah, they were giving tickets away.
Oh, well, and you talk to people that live down there and they're sour that the team left, but I'm like, well, we got to support the team, right? Like we can't. we can't be sour at left when we couldn't
I
fill a
don't
4,000 seat building. Like,
I don't know how much it was the people though, as much as the ownership just kept driving it into the ditch and saying, we're not in the ditch, and just being in the ditch.
My story this year is Alexander Ovechkin. And
What about
the
him?
possibility, it's a great number. We're just it's got a 42 goals
Right.
to catch Wayne Gretzky for most goals of all time. It's right in the sweet spot of intrigue. If he has a great year, he does it this season. If he has an average year, it'll be really close. And if he has a subpar year, then he's not going to get it done, and it's going to be over early. There's
You
some
should
great
know-
intrigue.
You should know
as
pretty
far as-
quickly into the season, right? Too.
Well, we could, but if he has a start like he did last year, there's no chance. But if he has a
Right.
finish, if he starts the way he finished last year, he'll put himself in the mix for it. So I think that's going to
Okay.
be fun to watch all year.
how many goals then? How many is he getting?
I think he does it this year. His motivation, and with the team focused on that as much as everything else, I think he rises to the occasion and gets it done this year.
I go
So
38.
43.
I think he misses it by 4.
Well, here's the other thing. It'll be weird to start next year saying he needs 6 goals.
That'd be great.
And it'd be good for the league because it'd be great interest next October in a weird way, but it just would lack a little bit of drama.
It'd
Well,
be
then
fun because you
Washington-
could have a celebration 2 games in.
Right.
Well-
You could.
Washington will play their first 8 games at home next year so they can get the
Yeah.
home crowd, right? They're
Yeah.
like, we'll need to start the first 10 at home. You know what? I think he's going to be super motivated. The first number that came into my head was 25, but I do believe even if he has an average year by his standards, he's going to be above 30. I kind of hope that he gets that momentum going because he is a momentum driven player. And if he gets some early on, then yeah, would be nice if he's going to have the kind of year, if he's going to break the record, it would be a lot of fun to see him get over 50 or get to 50, right? So that would be, how old is he this year? Is he 38 or 39?
I wish he was
Alexander
42. That would
Ovechkin's
be
39.
Are you
If
going
he
to
was
put number
42,
39 on the
it'd be
goalie
awesome.
there?
Just turned 39.
Lord Bagg, what's your big, what are you looking forward to?
What am I looking forward to? I'm honestly, this is completely different. I'm looking forward to see whether Thatcher Demko plays up to his level, but for how many games, and what happens with Vancouver and their goaltending, because they were able to go as far as they were last year with their number 3 goalie. Well, their number 3 goalie is now looking like their number 1 goalie, right? So let's see what happens in Vancouver.
Well, Archer
and what
Silovs.
happens with them. Yeah, Silovs.
They have Kevin Lankin in there too for insurance, and that they signed camp, and
But
they
he's-
just reclaimed Yuri Patera off waivers after losing.
You
him on
guys have
waivers
seen
to
Patera
Boston.
before. Well, how's Patera?
I think Patera, they like him in Vancouver.
But what did they think of him in Vegas? Because he was in Vegas last year, right?
Yeah, good. Played some really good games, and then had some moments where there were some bad breaks. In Tampa, there was the pad flipped over as he went across the ice. A terrible break, and he wasn't able to stop a sharp angle shot that wasn't really his fault. Colorado, he played a great game and wasn't able at the very end seal it. But I think that there's some good foundation there with Yuri Patera. He's not there to be their top 3 guys though. That's Demko, Shilovs, and Lankin.
How many games do you think Demko plays this year?
I'll go 45.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
They'd be happy with 45. The question is this injury seems so, it like doesn't seem like many people have ever had it before, so they're not sure on how right? How he's recovering from it. But I'd love to see him play 45. He's one of my favorite goalies to watch. But I'm
He's
going to
great
put
to
him in the
watch.
25. Again, 25 is just my number today. I'm putting him in the 25 to 30 games played range. I hope he plays more.
Do you let him go? He's scheduled on the Four Nations team, right? So
Yeah.
do you let him go as Vancouver?
Yeah.
I don't think you
Really?
have a choice.
You don't really have a choice. Yeah. If he wants to go.
You don't? Huh, I didn't know you had.
No, but think of it this way too, LB.
No.
Like, even though you want to protect him, how great is it? Thatcher Demko plays for Team USA and his NHL team's the Vancouver Canucks. Like the Canucks, that's good for your team when you got a bunch of these guys going to play for their country's teams. I think there's a lot of great pub there for the Canucks. And I'm sure JT Miller will go. Quinn Hughes will probably go. They got some guys there that are going to create some buzz in a local market when they go play, and Thatcher Demko's one of them.
Vancouver's got
His games played the
amazing
last
amount
few
of
years.
Americans.
His games played 51 last year, 32 the year before, 64 3 years ago, and 35.
I would
So-
say he's got to be between 32 and 35. I think 42, 45 is too many.
Yeah,
He's the
it's
number
hard
one
to
goalie.
say.
What's that?
He's the number one goalie. He's got to play.
Yeah, but number one goalie
Hang on
watched
a
a lot of
second.
games last year.
Hang on.
What are you doing,
Uh-oh.
Sharples? Got
He's
some
being
stuff coming
told-
in? Is
He's being
Michelle
told
talking
to
to you?
get up. Yeah,
Yeah, I got.
get off
I'm
the
getting-
internet, Jeff.
I'm getting.
Jeff, get off the
Would
internet.
you stop talking to those guys? You can talk to them anytime. We're trying to figure out rides around the house here today. So, as you can tell,
How many people
I
you
guess
got in
I'm
the
not
house?
part of that. Huh?
How many people you got in the house?
We got 4 right now.
Who's all in town?
Oh, we got Megan, Tyler, and and then we got the lovely Michelle and myself. So
I met Meg last
Okay.
night. And
yeah,
Tyler.
that's right. We didn't even. It's been a while. We've been going, but that was quite an event last night from our 2 friends.
Dave Wilshire and Shane Knighty launched their own beer, donating the profits to charity through
What's
the
it called?
Three Square.
I should have called it Nightly Bush.
but it's through Big Dog Brewery, right?
Big Dogs Brewery.
Yeah.
And you know what the great story about that is last time we were at Big Dog Brewery, we had a Las Vegas Thunder Halloween party. So I was driving over to where Big Dogs used to be. I wouldn't have found it. It used to be at Sahara and Torrey Pines. Well, now it's at Craig and Rancho. So thank goodness that one of the people in the car got the MapQuest out or the Waze or whatever, and we found it.
Blase.
I believe it's
Waze.
Waze, isn't it?
The Waze. So it was
Once
great.
again, you fly airplanes.
I know. Once again, he was lost.
I know what it is, but you know
weren't
what?
even-
I never used
You weren't
it.
even
'cause
supposed to fly to Hawaii the other week.
we just were like, we're going to the islands. I had
It's
to get
supposed to
ready
be
for
in
Millard.
Boise. This
Yeah.
looks different.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No, well, so far, so we're 100% so far. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed.
Jeff,
So-
what do you want to see this year?
I already told you that Utah.
Oh, I forgot. It was so boring.
Yeah, it's nothing exciting. Oh, I love it. You two have your fun. A couple, put the microphones down, and I almost feel like I'm getting punked every time I'm on with you two.
No,
But
the
once the
weird part
microphones
is-
go down, then the shit show begins.
He does a show and he's interacting with his audience and he remembers all of their names. He remembers everything about them. But on this podcast, he can't remember that he's already asked you that question
Yeah,
5 minutes
I
ago.
know. I know.
Well, there's a lot going on in the house right now, and it's pretty exciting times. So, hey, by
What's
the
that?
way, you guys will like this. So I was on a plane the other day, and I my wallet fell out of my pocket, right? So I walked off, got 4 gates down, realized my wallet wasn't in my pocket. Went back and said, "Hey, I forgot my wallet," to the gate agent. The gate agent was busy FaceTiming with their boyfriend or whatever. And I said, "All right, I'll go look." And they
You
went,
can't.
I can't go look, but they said they'll go look, right?
Yeah.
So they'll go look, and they're like, "It's not there." And I'm like, "No, it's down the side." And they're like, "I looked. I'm not looking. What can I do?" Right? So now I'm in Columbus with no wallet, no ID, no credit card. Got to check into a hotel. Got to rent a car. Nope, that's not happening. I use my picture on the funny bone to be able to check in, right? into the thing. But now I don't have a credit card. I have to get somebody else to send a credit card in.
How'd you get from the airport to the hotel?
Uber. I was able because Uber was on my phone, right?
Phone, right.
So I did the things where you call the airline and you get a thing set up because I'm like, okay, so my wallet is in the plane. So they're gonna clean up the plane and find my wallet and I'll get it back in a couple of days. Well, within 24 hours, somebody was using my credit card in Austin, Texas, at a Walmart for two different Walmarts, and I'm just like, I can't believe I sit in the same section as people that use Walmart. Like up your game a little bit. At least go to Target. But I was robbed. I was robbed on United. There we go. That's my story.
Somebody found your wallet and instead of turning it in,
yeah,
used it.
yeah. And what do you think? I'm trying to figure this out, Jeff, and I know you probably won't answer. Do you think it was a cleaner or do you think it was another? Do you think it was somebody flying?
Yeah.
Well, it
I
had
don't
to be
know.
somebody
It's a
flying because it was in a
caper.
different place.
It's a caper. It's a caper.
It's a caper.
If
It's
it
a
was-
cleaner. It's
If
a
it was a
cleaner.
cleaner, it would have been in Columbus, but the
No.
wallet was used in Austin. So
No, the plane went back to Denver
Oh,
and then
the
to
wa-
Austin. So within 6 hours, my card was being used in Austin. So it was somebody either on the way from Denver to Austin or somebody in Austin.
I'm putting it on the person that was sitting in your seat and found it.
No,
Well,
I said first class. People are pretty classy up there.
That happened. Oh, big shooter. Yeah, I can't believe those people. Like, I know, up in first class, but
Were you in
usually,
business?
oh, he
Usually,
always
but-
is. He's a big timer now. He's a big timer. Normally, that happens all the time where people leave their phone, their keys, their wallet like that, and every time that's happened, if one of the people that's working the flight attendant for one of the pilots goes back and grabs it for him, or one of the cleaners will hand it to him and go, "Here you go." So that's very unfortunate that happened. But most of the time that it's not uncommon for stuff to be left on the airplane. I'll say that. I don't know how
not
common
uncommon
it
at
is.
all. And I've forgotten headsets and stuff, and people they go back and find it right away. But I knew it was in my hoodie, which I use as a pillow, and I knew it just fell out and went down the side. And this person was too busy talking to their boyfriend or loved one on the FaceTime to care at the gate agent, as they call it. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's been great though. I just felt free not having credit cards or ID or anything. Suddenly now I'm traveling with my passport, and all I do is every time I go through something, diplomatic immunity.
Did you have to think about how many credit cards you have?
Yes.
That's a pain,
Yeah.
isn't it?
And actually, my bank was like, "Hey, you need to transfer this money out of this account so people can't steal it if they take your credit card."
Oh, really?
So,
They told you that?
Yeah, they were like, "You need to move this money out of this account."
Really?
So, yeah.
Oh,
I'm
that's
like,
good.
okay. They said,
That's
keep this
forward
much money.
thinking.
Yeah, this is a
so
good
I'm like,
bank.
okay.
It's a good bank.
Yeah.
So, right on.
So,
Hey, so
Fun
let's
times.
talk. Let's talk
let's talk
about
hockey.
well, we got to talk Shane and Dave for a minute.
Okay.
Too, because they're doing this beer. What's the beer called, Millard?
What the puck?
What the puck?
That's funny.
And it's a hazy IPA, Big Dogs Brewery in Vegas for 3 Square. All the proceeds go to 3 Square, which is an amazing thing. Not a cent for Dave and Shane, just doing it because it's the right thing to do. So as Ian walks out of the room, he's so
Boring.
bored. My stories today are too boring for you. So
No, they're fantastic. I just want to, I just show you something, but for continue on. So they're just doing it. All the money goes to charity.
yep, every cent.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a good deal and good guys.
Get
and
liquored up, help your neighbor.
two of the best at what they do in the business, right? Hey, Millard, you'd have to agree with that.
Yeah, it was
You can't
great
see.
last night. Lots of people walking out with cold beer and t-shirts.
Yep. Yep. So it's good to see the Vegas community rally around a great cause like that. So that could have been my shout out, but I blew it. So
Don't make that just shout out.
No,
I don't. We're not. We'll do some shout outs later. By the way, guess who? I know you guys hung out. Well, guess who's coming for their yearly staff meeting to my show on Thursday at Hermosa Beach? Marco.
You're playing in
Marco.
Hermosa?
Marco.
Yeah, Mirko Sturm and the boys are all coming on Thursday night to the show, and it's 15 of them.
And
Buddy
you're
of mine lives
staff.
over in Hermosa.
What was
So
that?
That's cool. Jared Stoll.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so I do every couple months. I'm there at the Hermosa Comedy and Magic Club. Next time I'll be there is December 10th. You guys should fly out. We should all
Comedy and
hang out.
magic?
Yeah, no magic for me. I was
What's the
Ian
date?
gets all fired up every time they bring up magic at the Comedy and Magic show.
I'd
It's
be
a
What's
great
the
fired
date
up.
of that show?
What's the name of the show that I'm on?
Date.
Oh, the date. What's Thursday? I don't
December
know what.
10th.
December 10th is the one afterwards. But you guys should fly out for that one. We should have a big night. Maybe go to a game or something on December
Well,
11th.
only if you'll leave to go to a place like Winnipeg the next morning at 6 a.m. like you tried to do the last time we tried to come out.
Actually, I'm going to St. Louis the next day.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Hey,
How many shows do you do a
always
year?
big plans. Always big plans, and he's on the 6 a.m. out of LA the next morning.
As soon as you said it, I remember. Oh, I'm going to St. Louis.
How many shows do you do a year?
6.
6.
I don't what I'm trying to be gone only 3 weeks a month, but somehow it's turned in. I've been gone 4 weeks a month. This is my first week off since first week of August. So now we have this weekend off, but we're going to Terrace, British Columbia for Canadian Thanksgiving. I don't know if you know if that's happening this weekend. While you're
Yeah, isn't that in August?
Canadian Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it's really early, isn't it?
It's like September 2nd, as soon as the corn has to come in.
Right.
Thank you.
We don't
Thank
play
you.
on December
Thanks.
10th.
Thank you. What's that?
We don't play on December 10th or the 9th or the 11th. We could do that.
Come on in.
Well, and then we can take Ian to the airport about 3:30 in the next morning. It's
Yeah,
perfect.
right after a show.
Well, you guys, you can take one of those Alaska planes and fly me right out to St. Louis. You guys should come to St. Louis as well. Oh,
Where
If
are
you're
we
so
gonna try and
busy,
go this year?
when do you prepare? When do you work on? Do you sit down and have
and
purposeful writing sessions, or does
No.
it just come to you and then you jot it down as it comes to you?
I write bullet points all the time, and then and then I go on stage and work it out. So everything's just actually being worked out. So, but bullet points.
You'll remember something will happen on a flight, and you'll write that down, and then you'll work that into a show.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a book of material?
I have like a bunch of scattered recipe cards all around the place is what I have.
Like it's
So it's not in one particular spot?
No, it's just like I just kind of put them in a drawer here, a drawer there. My wife gets mad. You should keep everything together.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I'm
that's
with
not
her.
how my mind works.
No, and you know what, Millard, you guys are so much alike, but so much. You guys, this is where you guys diverge because you prepare and prepare and prepare, and Lord Bagg's like, I like that. I'll ask some people some questions about it later, and then an hour and a half of set later, everyone's laughing their ass off and had a great time. So you write everything down. LB puts it up here, and then he'll throw a question to someone and ask them about it, and they'll talk about it for half an hour.
So
So
then it's just on a card somewhere into the universe.
Well,
All my
in his
stuff's-
head.
I feel
Yeah.
like here's what I used to have a book. Right? And I feel like if I do have some jokes that I keep in for every show, but if I don't have everything organized, things slip out naturally. And then I just forget about them. I don't push, and maybe once in a while I'll just like bring them back in, but stuff slips out naturally.
So you don't want to be too
instead of-
structured.
Yes.
He
The
likes
show's
to
not
be
the show's not
organic.
structured, right? Yeah, it's organic.
Organic.
It's like
Grow
a
it.
pile of poop in a driveway. It's organic.
That's your word of the day. You're enjoying the organic day.
Jeff has started shopping at Whole Foods and everything is organic.
Oh yeah.
By the way, when I was in Columbus, a kid came up to me and I don't know his name, and I don't know if you can see that, but he gave me a couple of these and he had me sign one. He loves the podcast, and it's an orange slice coaster. He listens to the
Nice.
podcast. We have guys, the people that listen. Some people came up in Phoenix. Hey, we love the podcast. They really want to let us know. It is a hockey town. We have so many rinks here, and we are a hockey town. And I was like, yeah, but you don't have a team, But I guarantee Phoenix comes back, right? They'll give it many shots like they did to Atlanta. So,
I guarantee Phoenix comes back, right? That didn't sound convincing.
I didn't want to say I don't think it's coming back.
No, it will. You know what? They're right in the like. There's grassroots minor hockey there, which they've got good teams and they've got good programs. As it's worked its way up into the professional ranks, there's obviously been something missing, but there's somebody out there like the guy that, like Bill
If it's the owner
Foley.
of the Suns, they'll get a team.
Well, think about it. You got Bill Foley who came into Vegas. It's a home run. You've got the new owner. What's it, Smith up in
Yeah,
Utah?
Ryan Smith. Yeah.
Ryan Smith. It's going to be a home run. So you just have to find somebody, the right ownership, and they will. For some reason, it hasn't been found to this point. There could be a lot of reasons why it hasn't kind of evolved. Like, but the minor hockey program in Arizona, I think, is very strong. And I mean, that's a great market. But I
Doesn't
think
make sense as a city though.
but think about it. Arizona's a little bit like Southern Florida in the fact that Miami's got these teams, but the people are kind of like the Heat. And I mean, the Panthers now are finally starting to draw. The Dolphins have got their people, but they don't always sell out. And it just seems like Phoenix has got a lot of other stuff going on. Like they've got the Major League Baseball team and the Suns. And yeah, those,
College football there's huge.
in college football. The question is, do these teams always sell out? There's so much going on in that community.
You need two things.
Yeah.
You got to be competitive and you got to have a good location. If you don't have either one, you're done. And Arizona didn't have either one. Florida struggled for years. Location wasn't great. And now they're super competitive, so they're on the map there. Their location's still bad, but they're uber competitive, so they're selling out.
Are they moving that rink at some point, or what are they doing?
You know how difficult it is to move a rink?
Well, after this win this week, it might be moved.
Bad.
Sorry.
No, it's going more Tampa side. Than
They're going
Sunrise.
towards Fort Lauderdale. They want to put it down in Fort Lauderdale, but
that's where isn't that basically where it is though? But they want to go downtown Fort
it's
Lauderdale.
way out there. It's right on the edge of the swamp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you don't have it, like Ottawa location, not good. When they were really good, things were fine. It still wasn't like convenient, but people would go. If you're not competitive and you don't have a good location, it's really hard.
Well, it's interesting that they'll build these places like that Gilbert, that arena in Gilbert, where they played. Like, why build a building there? Like, it's just empty now.
Isn't the football stadium right out there beside it?
That was a real estate. That was a real estate play, just like the Ottawa one was a real estate play.
It's so bizarre to have an empty building sitting there, and they kicked him out of there. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it'll work. You know, it was parent. It was at ASU. It was parent weekend. I don't know if it was pretty cool because you got to see what a girl looks like now and what she's going to look like later. It was awesome.
Do you have a kid? Do you have a kid going to ASU?
Yeah, it was great. I was just like, come on, girls. Weird that they're all blonde. I couldn't believe that people were going. It was 106 degrees, and people were going to an outdoor football game, and I'm just like, how hot are those stands going to be at 5 p.m.? I was just like, oh, it's going to cool down to 100 at 5 p.m. I'm like, oh.
At least there wasn't any wind, right?
Yeah, that helped everything else.
It's been brutal. It's been brutal. So
unbelievable.
Well, we got to ask Millard. You almost done your sketch, so we can wrap it up, or do we have to talk for a little while?
Yeah,
longer?
I gotta fly. I gotta go to work. I gotta go to work.
What are you working on today?
Practice in preparation for tomorrow's season opener.
Oh, so what do you do? Hello, everybody.
Actually, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to skate.
Oh, is that how you're practicing?
I'm going to do the back half of practice for one of our goalies. That's sort of the plan today. And then I'm going to do a couple of interviews as well. So I'm going to get some
do they wind up as hard as possible on you?
Yes.
Nice.
Why wouldn't they? They don't hit me.
You know what I did in Toronto while we were there? We did, you do the experience where you can shoot before
Oh
he
yeah,
could
the
be a
Hockey Hall of
goalie.
Fame.
Yeah, I'm just like, I
Okay,
couldn't
I'm
tell
gonna
where the
say
puck was
you
coming from.
busted it out about mid 40s, low 50s. What did you get?
What's that? You,
Did-
you
did-
don't, it's like you can score 5 times.
Oh, it's
Oh,
the
you don't get
target
a
one.
radar gun?
Yeah, guess who scored? Guess who scored three out of five?
Really?
3 out of 5.
Hey,
Did you
you know
work?
what?
Did you curve the stick extra whippy on those? Remember the
Absolutely.
floor hockey sticks that we used to use? You
Yeah.
used to put your big curve, bend it because it was plastic.
Yeah, the banana. Put a
Yeah.
banana on it. Yeah, no, it wasn't that. It was an actual stick. So yeah, but it was the sponge pucks. That was where it goes
That threw you off?
awry. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I was scoring so much.
No, that's
Yeah,
good. Next time you're in town, we'll have you now that you're back doing your hockey thing, we'll get you out running some drills too.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
he just likes going to the other end and shooting on the empty net all by
Thank you
himself.
for the ice. I'll go down here by myself.
And then we call him over to say
I'm a
hi, and
princess.
he skates by and gives us a wave. He won't even come over and talk.
He didn't even know that was you. That was
I
my
didn't
had
even.
no
My eyes are
idea it
so
was
bad. I
me.
didn't
What,
even know it was
Millard's
you.
here? Come on,
Yeah.
come on.
He had
was
no
like-
idea. He was
was-
just in his own world with his bucket on with no strap and
Hoping that no one saw him down there.
yeah.
Hey, who's that
Ding.
guy at 6'5" skating around at the other end? Oh, that's definitely not going to be Ian.
Ding,
Oh, you
ding,
guys
ding. Off the post.
you guys love to take it down. By the way, I posted, hey, and the ice is ready. Get on. I put that clip on.
Oh,
I
did
don't
you?
know if you, I
Hey.
don't know if you got to see it there, but we did a video a couple years ago of Jeff jumping on the ice. The ice is done. Let's go. And then the arena attendant, the doors aren't closed. Get off the ice. Get
There's
off
Bobby
the
D.
ice.
Bobby
And-
D. I saw Bobby D this weekend.
Oh, he was great.
He's the best. And that was a lot of fun. And it makes me think of every time and every kid to this day that Zamboni, he gets near whoever's driving it gets near the door to kind of get off the ice. And then you just see the kids are like, yeah, we can't get up.
Let's go,
And
let's go,
everyone
let's
rips
go.
around like a million miles an hour for the first minute or so. And then they'll start practicing. So some of them are just dragging. It's like the excitement just went boom, adrenaline,
Yeah.
bang, down to the floor.
You
But
gotta
it's-
get off.
Yeah.
As soon as that gate closes, you're just like, ah.
You're right.
It is.
So
yeah.
and
So-
if there's not an arena attendant that won't yell at you that the gate's not closed yet, you get off.
Well,
the
because
ice.
they've all
Rules are
taken
rules.
13 slap shots
Yeah.
off the shin or the
Yeah.
hand or something like that as they were
There's a
closing.
reason they're an arena attendant, and that's not going to affect them.
No wonder you're not allowed on the ice.
To all the arena
It's-
attendants out there, the Doug Sivier Award.
Can I give a shout out?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's
Oh,
wrap
we're
it
in
up.
shout outs? Okay,
Yeah.
shout outs.
Because I got to go. I want to thank Sharples
play hockey.
for joining us on the broadcast the other day. In all seriousness, I was firing stuff at him that I knew he could answer, but he delivered it in a really eloquent way and helpful for people that are new to the game and breaking things down from the defensive side. And it was a ton of fun, and I can't wait to do it again.
That's awesome. Pearl was snoring in the background while you did that. That's so great. I know. Randy Hahn actually texted me during the game and he said, "Hey, did you know Sharples is doing this?" And he loved it. So big fans out there, Jeff. Big fans. I'm gonna give a shout out to Trevor Henry. Our buddy Trevor Henry called me up and said, "Hey, you're coming to Terrace. I'm in Terrace right now. Come up on Thursday." And I can't come up on Thursday. He's up there. He still goes up. He's got a flooring company. He was up doing floors in Terrace, working hard. Great player. Jeff knows who he is. When he played hockey, he was a fantastic player, but just a great guy. And he's like, "I'm going to come down and see you, but my daughter decided that she's going to get married. Now I got to pay for a wedding, so I don't have any money." So congratulations to him, his daughter getting married. Trevor Henry and his family right there. Big shout out for just being good people. He's probably driving, listening to this on his way back.
What was
to
Trevor's
Kamloops.
nickname?
Goose. I don't know.
Trev, that's it. Goose. Oh,
Sorry, Trevor.
hey, you know what? He was the best. You know what? Top Canada, and well, we can't say Bantam anymore. So what would it be? U14 or 15? He was the best in Canada, and as great a hockey player as he is, he's a better person and one of the good people. And no one works harder. So that's a great shout out. My shout out. We just we talked about Bobby D and Ty. Bobby D used to work at the Las Vegas Ice Center. Had the celebration of life for Kirk Brooks this weekend, who was a Vegas icon with hockey and just a real character. And Kirk leaves behind. Unfortunately, Kirk passed recently, but he leaves behind an absolutely phenomenal wife and and two wonderful kids, and Kenny and Brittany, who Millard and well. Great people. So shout out to the Brooks family and Kirk Brooks for a job well done. Helped set the foundation for hockey in Vegas, and now it's just through the moon. The enrollment, and he's a big reason why. So shout out to the Brooks family. Love to all.
Loved all.
Doesn't sound like you're saying loved all though.